Okay, so here we are recording. So welcome to everyone who's watching this today. I'm here with Mira, and we're going to discuss photography versus video and getting comfortable on camera and what those differences are. So Mira, you're a photographer. You've been in the photography industry for many, many years. Tell us a little bit about your background and what you do now.
Hi, thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. So I'm a still photographer, and I've been a photographer my whole life, unofficially, but I actually loved it so much that I had the opportunity to go to photography college and professionally study and commit to it. And I earned a bachelor's degree in commercial advertising photography, which was awesome.
Yeah, and you work a lot in advertising, right? You have a
I
background in that?
have, yeah. It's extremely enlightening as to what goes on behind the scenes and what it takes to actually produce that final product that we so often forget about has taken hundreds of people and sometimes years to complete. So
Mm.
it's really helpful to keep that in mind, how much of a process it is and how many people it takes to complete that final, beautiful, finished product.
Right. And now you work a lot in the solopreneur space with women entrepreneurs. And uh, those of you who are watching this might know me from Facebook Live, but I am a writer, is how I came into doing Facebook Lives. I was a copywriter. And I also work a lot with women entrepreneurs. And it's such an interesting thing to see how people, women, a lot of them, have trouble getting comfortable in front of the camera, have difficulty, feel maybe even a little panicked about it. And I find that to be interesting because I've been doing video, both recorded and live, for several years now. And while I was never really, how do you say, I was never like jumping to do it. I wasn't thrilled by it, but I feel like over time I've become a lot more comfortable with it. Well, what would you have to say to that, Mara? Do you see a lot of that as people are coming in for a photography shoot?
Absolutely. We were speaking about this earlier, that every single person I've ever encountered, whether they're professional artist, actor, chef, model, everyone is nervous in front of the camera. There's a period of rehearsal and practice for a lot of professionals, and there's also there's pre-production for everything. Nothing aside from live video on scene of somewhere behind the scenes or something, and even so, nothing is spontaneous. Everything is very well thought out and very planned.
Yes.
And so often how you feel and how your energy is going to come out. So it's really
Absolutely.
important to honor and to create a safe environment to make people feel comfortable, so that they can really show their true selves and not have to be too worried about the exterior.
Right. So kind of take us a little bit through that process when you work with your clients. How does that work for you?
It takes time. The most common thing that happens is generally people are terrified of the timeline. They feel like if they talk to me that our photo shoot is then tomorrow, and that's just not how it works. It takes sometimes 2 to 6 months. I'm able to plan a year in advance if necessary. But I'll have an intake process to make sure that it's the right fit. It's my desire to really serve the people that are ready and who want to work with my style and my way of operating.
Mhm.
So I'll have about an hour and a half or a 2-hour call. And I'm an intuitive empath as well. So I'll be able to tune into things and really get downloads and visions of who this person is, so I can tell their story rather
Mm.
than just sharing snapshots of their lifestyle.
Well, that could be a little scary too.
Sure, I'm sure it is. It's very vulnerable, and I'm really empathetic to that. So understanding this personally, I think, is extremely helpful, because my goal is to help people be comfortable and get to that space of celebration and transformation, so that it's something they look forward to, that it's not just a transaction that's with someone you don't know who's across the way telling you to go like this, and it's when you're uncomfortable, it shows.
Right, right. You were saying earlier that like working with models, I mean, professional models are used to standing in front of the camera all day long. You can still tell if they're bored or if they're not,
Totally.
something showing in their eyes or their
Yeah.
smile's not quite right.
Yeah, or even just their body language, if they're sort of like starting to slouch a bit, or they're shifting weight, maybe their shoes are uncomfortable, or to be honest, they just literally need a break. Sometimes schedules are very tight and there's not room for longer breaks, but I think everybody can be afforded like a minute to step out of some very beautiful and comfortable shoes, or to sit down, or whatever they might need. And it's important to me to pay attention to my clients' needs. I think
Right. So you're doing these wonderful, wonderful shoots with your really creating this incredible experience for people and making them feel very pampered. And you said something earlier, you want it to feel like when people work with you, you want them to feel like they've checked into a 5-star hotel.
Exactly.
All their needs are met or their desires are met.
Yeah. You know, I've gone through it. So working on personal development myself has been incredibly helpful for me to understand and know the feelings and the mindset that go along with having to do something that's really important for your business, but that feels incredibly vulnerable. So, you know, I've always been kind of a like B&B kind of person, and I travel the world often by myself. B&Bs have been wonderful, especially from the advent of Airbnb. But nothing quite feels like checking into a luxury hotel, flying
Right.
first class, landing to a luxury hotel with someone to pick you up and everything's taken care of and someone cleans and there's Fiji water waiting for you. That feels really awesome. And I love luxury, and I love providing that experience for my clients.
Yeah, I love that because then people feel really pampered too.
They feel good. When you feel good, it shows.
Right. Right. It does. And so I think that's so important for, helping people get comfortable on camera is like, well, one, know that it's not necessarily a natural sort of a thing. So,
Exactly.
you can practice ahead of time, and you have an amazing opportunity to work, through for several sessions of kind of helping people work through their fears
Yes.
and get at what's really driving them to do this.
Absolutely. I think it can even be challenging to name our fear and anxiety, but usually asking just a few questions, people are quite in touch with what it is. You know, it's, I don't like how I look, or I don't feel like myself, or it was too much Photoshop. So I think that so many of us have had those experiences where we didn't feel totally connected and we didn't feel seen and really understood. So it's important to me that that's how my clients feel when they're on set with me. And I got to say, it brings me a lot of joy too. It really is very humbling to watch people transform in front of you.
Yeah, I love that word you keep using, it, the transformation.
It
So,
is. Yeah.
because everyone needs pictures, right? So everyone needs their images for their business these days, for all the different brand identity. And but having something you really love and you feel good about putting out there, that's just going to feel so different.
Absolutely. I've kind of been likening it to having your own spread in Vogue magazine. You know, there's something so specific and luxurious and very expansive about those. You know, people love them for all the detail and all of the luxury and the rich colors and the interesting environments. And it's storytelling. You know, I'm a storyteller, so I really enjoy telling the story of my clients, the things they love or the reasons why they're in business.
Right. I really think that, that really resonates with me, because I think that all good photographers are storytellers at heart.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I've
And
seen
I
some
think it's important to stand out today too. You know, I think
well, yes. Yeah.
having something that can capture not only your audience, but that can speak to a larger audience as well. I'm very forward thinking in that way. I'm always kind of like, what's this going to feel like? You know, is this photo going to be awesome in 10 years from now? And that's really my goal.
Right. Because, you can use the photographs for quite a while.
Yes. Even if your brand evolves and changes, there'll still be beautiful photos that you can refer to.
Right.
And that's something I take into consideration as well. You know, we evolve so much even in a year's time. So it's something to think about.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
This entrepreneurial world is pretty crazy sometimes. Because it is that personal development. You're just like, you're changing, you're having new offers. So speaking of
Absolutely.
new offers, would you like to talk a little bit about this VIP day you've created?
Yes, I finally listened. I listened to what people were telling me, and I put something together that I'm very excited about and can be extremely helpful for people who are preparing for a photo shoot, who may need a photo shoot in the next year, and or have started to be more visible online and might feel nervous about it. So I have a new VIP day offer, both virtually and in person. If you don't live in New York, I understand, or in the tri-state area. And so it's a deep dive intensive into the inner work and to prepare for a photo shoot. If you happen to sign up with me in person in New York, you'll get a little taste of that luxury. You'll get either your hair or makeup done with one of my professional stylists. And let me tell you how good that feels. Nothing feels better. You'll strut down the street.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We all love having our hair done.
Oh my gosh. Nothing feels better, I tell you. When my hairstylist is my personal friend and she's also a traveler. So when she's gone, my hair just grows. I wait for her because I really trust her.
Right.
And I'm like, where are you? And she's like, where are you? Are you here? Are you there? So it's fun to also share some lifestyle crossover there too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience today?
Let's have
Where can we find you?
You can find me if you're friends with Jen, and you're not friends with me, you can find me there. I'm mirazaki.com, mirazaki.com. All of my handles are at Mira Zaki Photo. I'm the most on Facebook. But my goal is really transformation. I'm really here to empower women and to elevate the leaders and the movers and shakers in the world so we can have a ripple effect and make our world better as best as we can make it, especially right now. But one of my main mantras is let's have the outer reflect the inner. It's really my complete joy and honor to work with women and to show them how I see them, because I really see the higher self. I see all of their potential and all of their passion, and to be able to reflect that back to them is awesome. Getting a chill.
I love that. Yeah, because when you're standing in front of the camera, you do feel vulnerable, but you want to look your best, and you want the pictures to come out, and that you're going to have something you can use, and you're going to feel good about.
I've got all the people to help you look your best. First, we'll start here, and then we'll go to the outer, and it makes a difference. Every person that I hire, I've worked with personally, which is another awesome way of relating and understanding how they work.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
So we'll put this up on YouTube, and I'll send you the.
Ooh, I'm actually like, I finally had some practice.